Oh, oh, that was awful. Oh, la, 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 la. Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm hoping I'm coming through. I should have checked my mic before. Should have checked my mic. Is there a way to check your mic when you're up and rolling already? That is a good question. Manage layouts now. Mute mic. Edit mics. Hard to say, huh? Well, let's pretend that we're rolling, and then we'll take it from there. Anyhow, I realize that it's not Monday, but I'm calling this Blue Monday. Even though it's Tuesday today. Blue Monday, when was it? It took me a while before I actually knew what the significance of Blue Monday actually meant, right? We all know the New Order song, but Blue Monday is, sorry, I'm just kind of looking at my text here. Blue Monday is what? It's like one of the longest days of the year, but it also has something to do with like the day that you get a lot of people, or the week that you get your credit card bill from. It's a very kind of consumerist kind of, it's not a holiday, but anyway, calendar event, right? And you've been spending over December, and yeah, you get a big bill, and it's Blue Monday, right? Good deal. Speaking of Blue Monday, how's it going?
It's good. Who are you talking with?
I'm talking with you. But every now and again, it helps to talk to yourself, right?
You were talking with someone before I came in.
I was talking to the people. There's so many people here. You got to give them content. I'm a content creator now.
Okay. I guess. Okay.
I've been learning from others. You can't just come on and kind of pose, right? You have to provide some kind of content. So. Hey, you know what? You were watching your team the other night, and you totally missed that crazy game. Did you read about it the next day?
Because my game ended right when the chaos started.
When the shit hit the fan?
So I got to see both, and I got even to see it from a better perspective, since the center back of Senegal is a Lyon player, Niarate.
Okay.
The Lyon players were streaming the game from their vestiaire, watching it.
So okay, walk me through that. So
basically,
like the Lyon players at the end of their game,
there was someone
watching the game.
Yeah, there was someone from the Lyon team streaming in the locker room of Lyon. The Lyon players watching the game on the screen, and so that's how I watched it. So that was extraordinary.
It's a bit like, I don't know, they don't really do that, right, in kind of European soccer, but in North American ice hockey, you see the guy sitting on the bench, they're all looking up, watching the replay on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
It's an interesting kind of remediation, right? There's like screens and who's watching who, watching themselves, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got the same in basketball as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the same because there are all those American kind of, big, what do they call them?
This big square screens, like a Damocles sword over the players, ready to kill everyone.
Ready to fall down and crush, 7-foot players, exactly. But yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. I was you know this, right? I was in Morocco during a good part of the football African Cup of Nations.
I completely forgot to connect the two. Yeah.
Well, I was slightly worried because I thought, shit, why are we going to Morocco during this big event? But it's not very well attended, right? Because there's not a lot of free money hanging around Africa. So
I mean, and also as soon as Senegal scored, like a third of the stadium emptied almost right away.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Mm.
But I figured that was because that's where all the comps and the corporate assholes and all that crew, all the.
Did you hear about the towel gate?
Well, I saw afterwards. They didn't show any of that right during the game.
Of course, they wouldn't during the game.
And also just today, I saw the amount of Senegalese fans that were down almost on the pitch, right? And there was a huge crew of kind of Moroccan riot police that were there, and they referred to it during the game, but you saw they didn't show any of it. Of course, you're right. They don't want to do that, right? But
even
so
Infantino,
it got out of hand. It got totally out of hand. But as a watcher,
I mean,
they stuck to the soccer field.
Right? They did everything they could so that Morocco could win. Even Infantino right now is saying that he hopes that they punish the Senegalese team a lot and as hard as possible for what they did.
Well, I think this Santino guy is a little Fantino, right? Sorry, is a little. What he's probably in a little bit of trouble after that peace award you gave to Trump. Did you watch that live?
No, not live.
Draw with always brutal. It was so disgusting. The whole thing was boring. It was poorly done. Technically, it was terrible. Just everything about it was fucking awful, right? And then Trump shows up, and it becomes this, predictable, cringe fest, But anyways,
you could have soon a new angle about doing a sequel to Rachel, like the last Canadian standing supporting Trump.
Or Rachel is going to be like, what do they call it? Hands behind her back, frog walked, is it? By ice or something.
Well, either
Canada becomes the 51st state, and then all this crew.
It's either that, or she's being also walked by Canadian authorities for high treason to them.
Well, there is a lot of banter about that, right? Of blame Canada people, and that's what they call it. It's kind of people who blame Canada from within. And half of the Conservative Party supporters are kind of like, oh, Trump is okay still, in Canada, even today, right? So there are nutballs everywhere. I'm sure there's nutball, like just as there are, in France, right? After all the shit is going to go down, and isn't the far right still in the lead in France? I think they are, right? They've changed their name, but they're still the same racists.
I think it's going to have a really negative impact on them, though.
Yeah, but Macron is going to have to go before that because he's so dead.
Because the far right has labeled themselves as anti-imperialist, and unfortunately for them,
it doesn't quite line up now, does it?
Yeah, and contrary to the US, the French audience has a little more memory than the US one.
A little more nuanced understanding of what colonialism is.
Yeah, a little better political understanding of things than America.
And most of that was pre-Vietnam, right? So I don't get it, but I don't know. Everyone back in Canada is freaking out. I think it's safe to say that things.
I think everyone in the world right now.
Yeah, what's going on in Sweden? I guess. Well, when I was in Sweden, it was all about when was that now? Like 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, it was all about Russia. But I assume things turn, right?
Yeah, well, like the thing is that Trump is basically saying it's either us or Russia and China. He's making the world into a free sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but the club is not. It's not like a welcoming club, is it?
No.
It's kind of come join us, and we'll do what? We'll give you whatever, some consumer goods, or we'll give you a football. We'll give you a football team or something stupid like that, right?
No, he's not even promising to give anything.
There's no incentive. There's no incentive.
The only thing is like either fall by Russian power or abide.
Yeah. You were have we finished talking about the soccer? So you saw the final. So you saw the kick, right?
Yeah. You know, there's this
The
theory
whole
that
thing, the whole thing when yeah. But when you saw the Senegalese players come back on, I just sat there and thought he's gonna miss this penalty kick and they're gonna lose. It just had this script to it, didn't it? It just felt like, and then it started to rain, and they were showing all of the Moroccan players looking devastated, even with 20 minutes left. You're right, everyone had left the stands. They could have still scored 2 goals quite easily, but it's
well, like I think the second half of the overtime was 100% in favor of Senegal, though. But I didn't see the fault that resulted in the penalty, though.
Oh, you didn't?
I read everywhere that it was like
it was the little soft. It was the little soft. I wouldn't say it was awful, but there was a soft denial of Senegal a goal. It was kind of soft, and there was a kind of soft penalty the other side. So I kind of get it, Do you know who this is, Santi? At BM? No, you don't know who this is it?
BMW edits.
Dash you to. Who do you think it is? You think it's Bobby Gas? It's like, are you reading my comment? That's the only thing he's put. Are you reading my comment? Yes. Okay. There's not that many people here, but.
Oh, we are doing. Oh, yeah, that's a public live. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You tricked me. You did a stunt.
I should have told you. Sorry. I texted a couple other people. We'll see if they show up. It's a weird time. Sorry. I should have said. Well, when I said a stream, I said you want to do a stream.
Yeah. No, I thought like you were an old man, like thinking we need to do a stream to communicate with video.
Chat.
Yeah. You know what I did one time with on William's channel.
Will the Billiam guy? Yeah.
He invited me to be part of his thing. When I told him I'm never gonna come to your thing if you want me to talk about drama, blah blah blah. So, but you know how he sent me the invite link privately, and I sent the link to Jose and to Jason without telling them what it was. They thought they were joining me.
There's a word for that, right? Is that like link dropping, or kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There should be a word for that. Hey, do you want to see this book? We can drop this soccer talk if you want.
That is fine. Like, but who's Rob Walker.
Rob's here. If Rob wants to come up, let me know, Rob, and I'll drop you a link.
Who's BMW Edits 18? Is that Ricardo James or something?
I don't know. Why don't they tell us?
Someone begging.
Please me. There's 3 pleases.
I also love the non-committal avatar with just a picture of a car. Like,
please. All right. Have you seen that? Is that the right way? Can you
Lacan, yeah.
Have you read this? Lacan écoute les crampes, which is Lacan listens to the cramps. And
no, I haven't. No.
The author's name is Laszlo. It's really interesting, actually. It's about Jacques Lacan is a kind of a critical theorist and also a
linguist, critical theorist, and
psychoanalyst.
Psychoanalyst. No, I've read Lacan. Lacanism is a school of psychiatry, of psychologue, analyst.
Yeah, psychoanalyst.
Psychoanalyst. The Lacanism.
Yeah, but anyway, so I'm just reading a bit from the back here. It says in translating right poorly. On the 13th of June.
Modern title, I must say.
Yeah. On the 13th of June, 1978, Jacques Lacan. Well, basically, I'm not great on translating, but he basically set up a concert at Napa State Hospital for the Cramps in California. Have you
When
heard
was
about the
that?
story? In
When was that?
78.
Okay, no, I know nothing about it.
And then apparently, and so in the latter chapter, it's about Michel Foucault, who is a very well-known French philosopher. In 1966, he set up a concert by the Velvet Underground. Did you know this?
No.
In New York, again for a psychiatry society. So yeah, it's kind of a cool book. It's in French. I don't know if it's been translated. It's by Laszlo. I think there's a series of these books.
What's the publishing company?
Yeah, good point there. La Ritournelle.
La Ritournelle.
La Ritournelle.
You know what a Ritournelle is?
The Return of the Repressed.
No, a Ritournelle, it's a sort of repetitive song, lullaby, or it's a repetitive part in a song. In Ritournelle, so it is related to music, which connects it to part of the topic.
Yeah, there it is. That's my camera shitty, huh? Anyway, I just thought I'd drop that one on you.
So we have to subscribe to BMW Edits 18.
Oh, hang on. No, don't leave. If you will not subscribe. Okay, you're gonna check it out?
I want to subscribe so bad to your channel right now. Like someone giving me a binary choice of either you leave or we subscribe. I have to subscribe now, I think.
I was going to come up on your stream last night and speak French, but it got really it got too late, and
you turned up a little late. It was fun. We talked about statistics of collecting in a fun way, and all the digital means of ordering records these days, and how it changed in the past 3-4 years. What changed, and
what do you mean? Like where you order from, you mean, or how you order?
Yeah, both actually. Because I have a sort of YouTube Discogs forum that I monitor. It's a small thing. It's not super active or anything. No forum is super active on Discogs anymore.
I didn't even know there were forums on Discogs.
And there's tons, but and an old thread I started about where do you buy records online outside of Discogs?
Yeah.
About 4 years ago, got a recent new reply, which made me think, oh, what has changed since my very first post there? And we kind of went into that for a little bit.
And so what was the post? What did they say?
Oh no, it was just where do we order records, how much, why not, etc. And a few of the big changes were that I guess suddenly eBay has become a little more attractive again in the past couple of years. Discogs is still number one by far. Soundome has become massively useful for a lot of us. Also places like Vinted or local stuff, French, like Le Bon Coin, can be interesting. Hello, Michael Nolan.
Is that really the Michael Nolan, do you think?
No.
Is that what this stream is? Why do you think eBay is coming back?
So I think that eBay was massive between its start in 1998 and 2006. And by 2006, Discogs had the marketplace, and the private dealers who used eBay a lot started to use Discogs because it was better for them. Discogs doesn't have auction, but by 2006, most records that were the big sellers for private dealers, we knew what they were worth. eBay was auctions, so you start at 1 cent or $1, and you see how far up it goes. I think that now a lot of records that were not the traditional private dealer culture sellers have entered the pool of records that are desirable, and there's more and more and more. Suddenly, like a lot of records that aren't funky are desirable, which was not the case for the longest time. Like you need to have breaks or something funky.
Do you think that sorry, go ahead.
So when you have a record for sale that you know is out there, potentially desirable, but you don't know exactly how much because Discogs doesn't have any sales on it. Like it's rare, so it doesn't have any sales stats. Then it might be better to put it on eBay, and to as an auction to see what the demand actually is, because there's enough people like me who are hyper connected in this term that like we have like alerts on so much stuff, so that
have you ever sold anything on eBay?
A long time ago,
I bought a ton of stuff off of eBay. I agree with you, but I haven't
before
sold
Discogs
anything.
was a marketplace. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I was dealing records for a little while, and so I used to do a batch of like between 20 and 40 records every month.
Yeah.
Like you build your reputation a little bit, and people wait if they like your specialty, then they come to your latest auction run, and yeah.
I think I don't know what you think, but I think that since all of the tariffs and all the confusion, at least, right, about tariffs and bills that you get when packages arrive, I think that over the last 3-4 months, that a big segment of Americans and others, maybe Canadians too, have kind of exited, or at least put a pause on their purchases from eBay, because I'm finding a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of competition for it anymore, or much less. I don't know if that's your experience, but it seems to me, maybe I'm just imagining it, or maybe I'm thinking, "Fuck you, Trump." Oh yeah, I can see where people.
So the reason why I buy on eBay is when I find it there and it's nowhere else. Usually, like 90% of the time, that's why. Last year I bought like 11 records on eBay through eBay, and I also put a lot of bids that ended up not winning, and badly so. Very recently with the Martial.
Well, that's what I mean, because that's my strategy. I just, usually it's the ones that end on Sunday night. I go in for, right, and I just decide, I do my research, and then I follow it all week long, and then I decide, okay, this is good. This is a good deal for me, this price, and I add a couple more cents or whatever tricky maneuver people do, and I just let it ride. And the next day I wake up and I see and usually maybe I'll win 1 out of 5, but over the last little while, it's more like 3 out of 5, right?
Okay.
And the stuff I want, but they're good prices. Like they're well below. I think we talked about this before. Like, where do you go in? Right? What's a good price? And for me, it's a little bit below the median, right? On
it depends on the record. Like me,
that too. Yeah.
Today I got this.
Is that the one that you were telling me about earlier?
Yeah, it's like Celtic harp from a French player, kind of experimental. She did an album with John Surman, or she played with John Surman. It was an archival release that came out last year because she passed away in the 90s. And but this one was recorded in 1990 in Germany, in a German studio, which is why it's very difficult to find, because she's already kind of underground, but where she's known is in France. So this is a German only pressing, and it took me a while to get it. So yeah, hard.
Have you listened to it then?
Not yet.
Just arrived, right?
And there's no and there's no clips of it online. No one has uploaded.
Celtic free improv electroacoustic. Sometimes the style listings on Discogs are complete full of shit,
Well, in this case, it could be true, and if it's true, then it's very exciting for me.
Yeah, it hasn't been reissued, right? There's just the one version from 1990. Median has gone for 59 euros.
And that's my point, is that like there's the highest it ever went for was 90, and that's my copy. That's the one I got.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, there's none listed here online. So score. Yeah, so you've been waiting for that for a while, right?
Yeah, and like if you look at the history of Marketplace, the last one that went, like it doesn't come up often, really seldom. And the thing is, I have this idea, like when you've been looking for something for a while and you understand that it is really rare and elusive, then the biggest metric to me is how much do I want it now?
Yeah. That's absolutely for me too, right? And that's why I said to you when we were in
hello Trish,
in Bosch, hey Trish, that's basically I was there to find stuff that I've been putting off on buying for 10 years. Hey, speaking of, can I show you something? I guess I can. It's my stream.
Right? I think you can, yeah.
I think you know this album,
right? Hey Marty. Oh yeah, François Tusk, le chien.
There's a few, right? The Intercommunal Free Dance Music Orchestra, and it's put out by Souffle Continu. I'm heading up to. Let me see if I can hold that up. Let's see at the bottom. My camera's not very good for close-ups, is it?
No, it's or anyway, your light.
It's very.
Your lighting is dark as well.
My lighting, yeah, maybe I'll turn that around, but yeah, it's kind of like what would you call it? Kind of free jazz, jammy free jazz.
François Tusk, who's the main artist there, he is, I think, he is the in a way the French Don Cherry, or like he's the biggest name outcast in a way, but also official. Like he's a huge force in European jazz and avant-garde jazz. And I remember I used to see him play bar shows in Paris in the 2000s. Often him on piano and Noel McGee on drums. And he's often had a bunch of records for sale, like dead stock of his own stuff. And this was one of the records that he used to have and was selling for 10 euros, because back then it was difficult for him to just get rid of them. And now it's like 100 and 120 euro record.
That's something that it's funny you bring that up, Santi. I was just talking to my friend Gary back in Toronto, and maybe I'll introduce folks to him in a few weeks when I go to London, because he's going to meet me there, and we're going to do some buying. But he's really kind of networked into the musician, like the avant-garde jazz, free jazz scene in Toronto. People going back for 30 years, and a lot of them are in their 70s and late 70s, early 80s now, and a lot of them are selling off their collections, including their own LPs that are all, as you know, small labels, self-produced, all this kind of stuff. You can't find it anywhere. But now he's, that's kind of, we don't really talk about that, which is getting vinyl from the actual musicians themselves, which is really so much fun, right? And incredibly rare.
At Den Bosch, there was a French guy called Diger Digest. He's selling kind of everything, but a lot of French stuff. And he's an old pal of mine, and he had like jazz gigs posters from the 70s, seal screen for sale for I think quite good price actually. And how did he get them? Well, he went to François Tusk, who lives in a tiny apartment in Paris.
Knocked on his door.
No, he put, like, he got in touch with him, like, in France we have the phone book, like les pages blanches, where all old people who have a landline, like, they're in there. And I used to do that as well, and for my radio show. So he contacted him to get some records from him, and they went to his cellar, and he saw like piles of old posters. What is this? It's just trash. Oh, could I get them? Oh, yeah, sure, get them. How much? Oh no, you can get them.
And I think that's basically, you know, what my pal Gary did, which is, and he did that when we were at a show, and it was again one of these old timers who was playing there, and he brought some of his new LPs, and so Gary just went up to him and said, "Hey, do you have any extra copies of your 1975 Cha 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 Cha?" And the guy said, "Yeah, here's my email. Come around on the weekend, and you can go through all my dead stock, if that's what you want to call it, right? And I'll make you a deal."
Yeah.
Like, why not? Just ask, right?
I don't. You understand the question?
Will your Finding Rachel ever come to YouTube? You mean the podcast?
The movie. Yeah.
No. I've got the podcast. Have you ever listened to any of the podcasts? So there's the movie, and then I've done a little podcast where
no,
it's captivating. It's
okay.
It is award-winning content.
What do you mean by that? Award-winning. I thought you said award.
Usually I mean the opposite.
Yeah.
But I think actually Trish might be asking about the film. Oh, no.
No, she's asking about the movie. She confirmed now.
I think isn't the answer like the quickest the film comes to YouTube, probably the worse it's done on the film festival circuit, you know?
Yeah, haven't you? Trish,
does that make sense?
Haven't you heard Mazzy? Mazzy added Greg to his portfolio of for hire hyping by saying like, "Come on, it only costs like pay up."
He was it was like $5. Come on, you guys, you know, independent artists. I think this fake Michael Nolan's talking to you, Senti, because I wasn't streaming.
I think he's insisting on, like, he wants us to shit on Jason's stream, because Jason's stream they had like last night there was a jazz expert. Camera was turned off of. I don't know what he's talking about.
Time. No, I don't know what he's talking about either. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, okay. So I didn't get to my question for you. So Souffle Continu was also a record store, right, in Paris. How long?
You want the story about Le Souffle Continu?
Well, I was going to ask a simple question, so give me a quick answer, and then you can explain it. But is it worth going there? Because it's one of the only record stores I haven't been to that when you look online, there's a lot of really interesting stuff.
I think in Paris for you, there's like 6-7 record stores worth going into in Paris.
For you? What did you mean by that?
For you, for OGCs. Obviously, you need to go to Paris Jazz Corner.
Yeah.
You would it would be good to go to Babaluma and Dishonor. And I would say that so Le Souffle Continu doesn't sell or not. So yeah, the short answer is obviously yeah. They're specialized in new releases though. That's how they started. They kind of, because they have a vast network of musicians, so sometimes they get collections or stuff like that, but like that's not what they do. So the Souffle Continu was started by Théo Jarrier, who's a drummer, and Bernard, who's a guitar player, screamer. He was part of a band called The Weird Moves, who was a sort of post-hardcore noise band in the early mid-90s in Paris. Théo was part of like an avant-garde pop band called Carmine, which is one of my favorite bands ever. He was also the art director for a jazz series on a label, a sort of like left field avant-garde jazz, connected to Jean-François Pauvros. So they were both connected to the music scene. They both met working at a record store called Jussieu Musique by the Jussieu University faculty.
The metro there, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a CD store, only secondhand. And that was the store where every journalist was selling their promos. So that was one of the best stores in Paris for the longest time.
But that's not there anymore. I don't recognize it.
No, it's not there anymore. But
Yeah.
it was an institution. Like when you were a kid and you wanted to get cheap records, you went to Jussieu. Like there was a sort of area where there was 6-7 different stores that were only selling secondhand CDs. You would go there on a Saturday afternoon with a little notebook. Oh, I can buy this for this price there, which I can sell for more in this one. And you do a whole circuit like that during the whole day, end up with some cash that you could spend in an actual record store during the week after, at the rough trade shop or something. That's what I used to do. Plus, you would also find stuff you wanted, because journalists who would get like I bought a lot of really obscure, esoteric, industrial, ambient noise stuff that you would not expect that you could find secondhand. But back then, I mean, Paris is a big city enough so that fanzines, magazines, journalists will get promos of really limited stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of them were selling off the records, and that was there. And Bernard and Theo, they worked there for years.
Yeah. So they are now just they're a label now, right?
So when they started the shop,
they're only selling their label in their shop?
No, not at all. They started the shop as like, let's do the best possible shop for new stuff, for independent music, and they were quite ambitious with it. And the location of the shop is a little off, but not terrible.
Yeah, that's why I asked if it's worth going there. It's hard to get there, right?
No, it's not hard. Like if you go to Bastille, there's a bunch of record store there, and it's walking distance. Like you can do a sort of circuit of like 5-6 record shops that are worth going to, that are all within like 15-minute walk distance, like less than 10-minute walk distance from each other. So it's good. And there's a new record store also that opened recently, very close by. That it's too new for me to know, but I have friends who went there and say that it was good. But so Souffle Continu started as this shop that was selling vinyl and CDs and books and posters of independent music, jazz, avant-garde, modern classical, rock, noise, electronics, dub, everything, soul. And of course, independent shops, not huge margins. And there are two guys. So at one point they were like struggling really to the point that there was talk that they would close down. And what happened is that the Futura label, a cult French jazz label that doesn't have that many references, there's like 40 releases in total or something, less than 50. And the guy was still alive, and he was a jazz concert promoter for a long time. And for the longest time, he didn't have anything reissued on vinyl. And because they supported him for a long time with his CD reissues, he basically gave them the opportunity to reissue his catalog, which opened up the possibility for the catalog of Palm Records, which is Jeff Gilson's label, which is kind of sort of like twin brother of Futura. And just by sheer fact of getting the possibility, access to reissuing these records and hyping them to people not aware of them, they're great. Huh? That kind of saved the shop.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, no, it's obviously there's a certain culture around that shop, right? That there are. I've been to almost all the record stores that I think I need to go to in Paris, but half of them have a really interesting kind of back history and kind of a legion of clientele that really defend the place, show up a lot, and it's quite unique in that sense.
I mean, what I told you,
I haven't seen that in many other.
It's what I told you is not like common knowledge. I know of that because I've been friends with these guys for 35 years. I've known them, so I followed them from distance or proximity, and then like the story of how the label saved the shop. That's my take, but like.
So this is a better documentary to do than the Bobby Cass one that I was pitching you earlier.
Different audience. Like the Bobby Gas movie could go viral. This one could be you
So it
could
could be
get
on.
everyone who's into jazz or noise, but like that, there's a glass ceiling. The Bobby Gas documentary, the sky is the limit, I say. But
Have you
the
seen
sky
that?
could,
That
like, you could
the
be in
sky-
Naples and we're like there's a smog fog over your head that you have even to bend on street level.
Well, I told you, right? I told you, like, I think when we were in Den Bosch, it's like, yeah, it'd be really fun to do like a little webisodes of all these crazy characters on YouTube. I always thought that would be a fun thing, but so
So
I haven't told anyone. Can I tell you
yeah,
something about this is something I'll probably do a podcast about soon. And that is the process of submitting films to film festivals, and you got to upload your film and put it on the fancy version of YouTube, right? It's called Vimeo. And thing about Vimeo, which I guess is the same as YouTube, right, is I don't know how granular your analytics are on YouTube, but on Vimeo they're pretty good. So I put up a screening copy, right, of the film, and then I send that link to all the film festivals. That way I can see when someone watches the film, right, or watches screener. And it's hilarious because the big kind of non-secret in the film industry is they get you to pay whatever, anywhere from $20 to $200 to submit your film. I don't pay that much money. And then they don't bother watching your film, right? But
yeah,
now everyone can kind of counter surveil the industry and see which festival is actually watching your film. So I'll leave it at that for now. But it's really it's quite it's dramedy. If I were to put like a genre word on it, it's sort of dramedy. I know this sounds very geeky, but we are like looking at statistics, and particularly ego statistics, right? But this is a step
no, we're
above and
not.
beyond it. Yeah.
I,
You do. We know you're
no,
the
no. You
Okay.
actually, like, I honestly, I've never ever a
You'll
single
never.
time.
You're going to tell us something. You never look your statistics. Okay. All right.
No, but like, why should I? What does it? What does it? What? What's the use for a YouTube channel? Seriously.
Well, I guess
I mean, of course, I
it
look.
could tell you
I mean,
if
beyond
if
how many
what
views.
you're putting out there is resonating, let's say. Which I get. I
That's
understand what you're saying.
that's
I
not
understand what
really.
you're saying.
I don't have time for that. Like, of course, like the metric of how many views I have.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to know
But
so
this
far.
is different. But this is different because like I'm
Yeah,
spending my money, right?
of
Plus
course.
I'm also thinking, okay, which of these festivals are dodgy and which ones are transparent and nice, right? So
And when I'm saying I'm not watching this, I'm not judging anyone there. I'm just like, it's just like
I
it's
know.
just a fact. Yeah.
I'm winding you up. I'm winding you up. Is it working?
No,
Oh, you froze.
no. No, but today, like, it's funny because, like, as I've been doing that live stream on a weekly basis for over 3 years now, so I
The
build a
Friday
sort
one,
of,
yeah.
yeah. So there's sort of a community audience for that, to the point that basically hey Paul, the pledge I have is like, I'll play only stuff that I would spend money on. But the weird thing is that now I put myself a sort of pressure, like, um, uh, goal that, like, I want to play every week something that is also new to me, and I can't afford to buy 25 new records every week.
But
So
okay, coming back to the metrics thing, that is because people are watching. You're not
yeah,
just putting that on yourself, right? You're
yeah,
putting it on yourself because you know that what is it, like
yeah,
100
yeah.
plus people are
But
showing up, right?
yeah, absolutely. But it's sort
Yeah.
of, it came empirically. But the thing now is that I've had I like to do this kind of pop-up surprise interviews with the artists during the stream,
Yep.
and now, since a lot of records, you know about them in advance before they come out, and you can listen, sample through them, etc. So now, whenever I see a record that I'm I'd be ready to buy it and to feature it, just in case. I send a message to the artist and like, here's what I do. Would you consider sending me a promo copy of it? And maybe 1 out of 4 or 5 will say yes after they've seen what I do, and it can have an effect on them.
Yeah.
And then it helps me reach this new goal of every week having some new stuff to.
Plus, it helps for when your old iMac crashes.
It does. No, because like the stuff, I keep it. It's not for. I don't sell it. Like
what's going on? What's going on with your system, man? What's going like?
It's just
so many people. So many people. There's like 800 people watching right now. You can clear the air study and tell everyone what's going on with your system. I think actually you have. I think actually you have stage fright now, and it's really not. You're just blaming the technology. And,
okay,
and
you want to see?
You
want me to prove to you that I don't have stage fright? You want me to go naked on your channel?
And for the 900 for the 9,000 people who are watching right now, you can do whatever you like. You know.
No, so the thing is, no, it's just a simple like hardware failure. Like my USB ports don't work properly anymore. So I can't connect my USB cable from the sound card to the computer so that the sound from the turntables come like clean.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Well, I might have a solution coming up. Like already, I thought I had solved the issue last week, and I paid some money for that. So and it didn't. So I might have a solution by tomorrow evening. And if not, I have to go to the Apple store again for them to repair again. All right.
How many? Ah, that's ugly. Oh, here we go. Oh, someone. Paul already saw this coming. Oh,
yeah, that was before your time. Like that was a stable feature of the Rachel stream. I would appear like that.
Okay, enough of that. Jesus. I heard all about this. You probably told me. You were probably bragging about, whatever.
No, well, it just came.
You were probably bragging about back when you used to be svelte.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It was just like a spontaneous thing of like, just like, okay, if we really don't take ourselves so seriously, then let's do stupid abstract shit like that and see who will like pretend to be offended by that and like grandstand that, like Patrick PB4 who was like guys.
I thought you were gonna say AGK is gonna be offended.
No, but it's sort of when you do stuff like that, at least from my perspective, and I hope that people understand that, that's sort of profiling. You do stuff like that, you put yourself out there, and you see how people react, and that tells you more about them than what you do tells them about you.
Okay.
At least that's my opinion.
People want to come up and join me in mocking this man from Stockholm, then feel free. I think Rob Walker needs to come up and tell me personally why Manchester record shops are so bad. I was really surprised. Someone was going on the other day about Manchester is such a great music history, and I just thought, God, that record.
There's a really good shop in Manchester, but it's kind of in the suburbs of Manchester.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's called All Night Flight, and
what were you doing out there?
That Rob doesn't know that shop, but maybe he does. I would be curious for him to tell us about it, and if he hasn't gone there, it's not directly for him, but like I have more ambition for Rob than people would expect. Maybe like I think that his music taste is still an open field.
Who's the fellow that we met at Den Bosch who has a shop in Los Angeles? I saw one of his streams. Lance. Yeah, really nice guy. Bought a string. Super, super friendly guy. And the name of his shop again, Santi, was?
Permanent Records.
Permanent Records.
I've known him for a
And
few years now. He's
yeah,
he's the typical like joyful, nice, pleasant
California guy.
American businessman. Small business.
Anyway, he put up a video the other day, and it just popped up, and so I watched it. And it was when he was touring around in Utrecht. I'm assuming it was before we all met up in Den Bosch. And I was surprised. I thought, oh, because I'm going up to Utrecht just before Den Bosch this year, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to show the film actually up there. And I thought, oh, I should watch this because I didn't know there were that many good record stores there. I thought there was like 2 or something. And I watched his video, and it was like I've been to all those shops, and they were all terrible. But he was so nice about it. To your point, right? He's a very friendly guy. Wouldn't say anything bad about a shop. Well, he's also a record shop owner, but it was there's not much going on there. Just like in downtown Manchester. But you know where I'm going to be going in the spring, that is surprisingly, although that's shouldn't be maybe I shouldn't use that word, good city for record shopping, and that's close by, is Rotterdam. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Rotterdam has really good shops and good prices too.
Yeah. It's a blue collar city, like a city where like Rob and his class treason behavior would not stand. And lots of great techno shops in Rotterdam.
He's much nicer than Stunty.
Yeah, but you know,
Stunty didn't buy me a drink, but Lance, who I don't know, did.
Well, the thing is that I'm not trying to sell Rob anything, contrary to Lance. Huh? There's that.
Was he trying
Plus the fact that on
Den
Bosch, like the interesting fact though, I'm the one who went to say hi to Rob, and not the other way around.
Oh man,
Rob is a class trader anyway, so.
Why is he a conservative? I think Rob's a conservative.
Yeah, he's a conservative.
I think he's one of those. I think he's one of those conservatives. I think he's one of those guys who used to be Labour and then started voting conservative, and now is voting Brexit bollocks party, whatever the name is this week. Reform, is it? I'm just going to say. I hope going to increase my nasty things until Rob comes up and defends himself. Sorry, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. Never. Actually, last time I was in Liverpool, I went to a bar and they were playing Blue Monday. So boom, I just came back around. Oh my God! Spent
the bird hurt. The bird hurt is
2 days. 2 days avoiding me.
Rob, next time, if you come to in April and I'm still there, we can go. We can go and have.
Rob, are you gonna go in April then?
I don't know yet, but like probably.
You're probably gonna go. Is Rob going? Has he been texting you saying, "Are you going, Stunty? Are you going?"
No, too much pride for.
Nah, too much pride. Yeah. It'll kill you all, right? The pride's the one that kills you. So you're probably gonna go. Yeah, I don't know. I might bypass. I might be in the area, so maybe I'll see you in Amsterdam or.
The thing for me is that I feel sort of content in a way, and for a little while, and I honestly don't. I have a feeling that I won't find.
It's not going to be as good because it was really good in the fall. You're right, and it
was.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to give it a pass. I'm going to head up to Hamburg, and I'm going to tool around there and check out their record stores. That's a city that's just flush with record stores. It's been a long time. It's probably been 10 years since I've been to Hamburg, so I'm pretty excited about that. Less excited about this. Okay. Keep up. You see, at least Rob Walker is listening to what we're saying, right, and responding to my provocations, as opposed to fake Michael Nolan talking about the jazz bums show. Okay, all right. So I don't know. I think that's a poor excuse. I think he's still upset with you, Stunty.
Yeah, May is like a month after than Bosch. That's that.
No, but there's the Cologne's great, right? You go in those
Yeah.
bars, they have those thin glass beers, and they just keep on bringing them around. And
No, but can we go back to Michael Nolan, and ask him, what do you want us to say? Do you want us to say that we don't know anything about jazz? That we apologize to the world that we are frauds? That is that what he's like? Does he want us to talk shit about other people or ourselves? I'm game with either.
I think this is a genuine appeal for authentic knowledge. You can't really say that stuff with a straight face, can you?
Oh yeah, no.
He doesn't have a stream. I told you, Rob. He's developed stage fright. Rewind and watch his last two streams. He has to bring other people on now to.
I have a stream at least twice a day.
You never invite me onto yours. You never invite me onto your streams.
If you include masturbation, it's at least 3.
Oh, great! That's you heard it here first. Fun times. Does Rob Walker have a live stream? I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I don't think I've seen. He's got his couch. He's got his couch stream. Did we answer Paul? Paul, you can come up, by the way. If I dropped the link down earlier.
Köln is.
There's a link if you want to. It's further up the comments. Yeah, Cologne's actually really pretty. It strikes me as kind of a place where you could buy a really expensive old, Marantz or something like that.
Well, the thing is that Köln is one of the most important cities in the Western world in terms of music. That's the birthplace of electronic music, and it's been and it's not that far away from Düsseldorf either. So it's this part of Germany is really important in terms of 20th century music history, and still to this day. So of course there's record stores that reflect that.
Yeah, it's a cultural capital, I think, still, right? Wouldn't you say? I think it's still considered the cultural capital. It's definitely one of the more liberal cities in Germany, but I still found it to be a bit. Maybe it's the price of the real estate in the neighborhoods I was walking, because, as you know, I'm a very wealthy person, right, Stunty? So I only go to wealthy neighborhoods. But no, I'm not joking. But it struck me as though there was a lot of money there, and that, as opposed to in Hamburg or somewhere that's a bit grittier, where you got a lot more independent stores. But I don't know. Good question. Are you going to for work, Paul? I'm assuming that's why you're asking, right? Anyway, yes, it's at work. People are at work. I've given up on work. Quite quit. I've quite quit. Plus, I told you, right? I think I'm just going to stay. I'm going to stay in France because I think Canada's done. Which is hilarious, because when Rachel talks about it, she always talks about how, the Canadians are whatever, turning on each other. Just like the Americans are going to come and take our water and our children, and our vinyl. So maybe I'll just stay here.
I love Paul. I really do. But I'm afraid to confirm that you are banned from Europe, since he's an American.
Did I show you? I probably have one of the last burgundy-colored British passports.
What color did they change?
This is going to wind up Rob Walker here, right? Reform Party Rob Walker. It's blue now.
Okay.
Come on, Frenchie.
My pass is burgundy as well.
Can you see how that would just wind up all those Brits? It's burgundy. There is no such there's no such color in the UK. It's royal blue,
the
right?
reason why French people and English people have an issue with each other, it's actually because of that. It's like in the 9th century, there was a climate
There are a
change
number of
crisis.
reasons.
No, but like the real one, the start of it is like the English kingdom had invaded Burgundy in France, and it was basically a sort of colony, and they needed it because England was a shithole at the time because of the weather. Like it was so cold that you couldn't, like the water was bad. Like it was difficult to get drinkable water. So the rich people, they wanted to have access to the wine because the wine was not as strong as now. Now wine is like 12, 14 degrees. Back then it used to be like 4 or 5, like normal cider. And so that was
what are you talking about? You're making this up.
No, that's history. And so when the French king dynasty of the Capetians, after 400 years, had no male heir, the British king decided, let's make a play for Burgundy because it was contentious, of course. So he invaded France to make a claim to become king of France, and he waged a horrible but very successful war to the gates of Paris. And when he reached Paris, he said, "I'm okay for not becoming king of the whole of France, but in exchange for my pledge or letting France be, Burgundy has to become English forever."
Okay, but
and that was the start of the 100-year war that was actually.
I know, but Sandy, if you're going to tell a story about the history of France, you know better than I do that at the end of the story, someone's head gets chopped off. So whose head gets chopped off?
No, it like the story it has obviously not ended since we still like so. It's either Rob's head or mine, I guess, but probably not mine since I don't live in France anymore. Anyways,
I know I am becoming French, though, right? You know, I was gonna ask you if this is gonna be on my course civique. You know what the course civique is, right? You know what the course civique is, right? Santi, you know what that is?
Yes.
Civic
education, yeah.
Yeah, so so next Monday I gotta go for my 3rd class, and then the following Monday I go for my 4th class, and this full day where I learn about the history of France and the culture of France and the political structure and blah blah blah, how to get your kids into school, and then at the end of it, apparently there's an exam.
Happy for Rob Walker and his entertainment, watching a French football player, Ryan Cherki, to make.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for joining. Thanks for contributing. And good luck with off to Man City. Oh, it's the Champions League tonight.
Yeah,
it's too bad that Lyon are not in the Champions League, are they? But my team is. My team, Tottenham Hotspur, who are.
No, your team is Saint-Etienne. They're not even in.
Absolute shit. That's my French team. That's my French team.
For people who don't know, like when Greg moved to France, he moved to Saint-Etienne, and because he knew he would be talking with me even more, he thought it would be a good idea to say that now I'm a hardcore Saint-Etienne fan, but he didn't really realize what that meant. Now he does.
Paul, the Arsenal fan.
Oh well, it's being an Arsenal fan has proven over the years to be a safer bet than So let's say that OGC is a Maverick.
Oh, so this is what we're talking about. It's about betting. It's about what? About financial investment? No, Santi, it's about love. It's about commitment. You know. That's what supporting a team is about.
Commitment is like right now we're in the dark ages for my team, Lyon, and still going.
Still you're not as low as.
I mean, we have for 6 months we have Hendrik, which is potentially the next biggest star of football. So we're very happy right now. We have a good team.
The problem is everyone. So like studying. No one gets it because no one knows anything about Ligue 2 in France, right? But the problem is, I'm being serious here. The problem is that, and you know this too, is that the French Football League is completely collapsing.
You mean financially?
Yes,
Yeah.
they've
Because
lost their TV contract.
Well,
So
they already collapsed. Now they're trying to find solutions. The thing which is incredible, like Americans, they don't know that, but like in the UK, the French league is called the Farmers League because basically that's where a lot of the best players are being nurtured,
and coaches
too, right? Yeah. So because of that, there's this very weird thing that, like, since France has big taxes, it's never been easy for French teams to compete on the international level on the European Cup. So French has never had, like, very rarely had great results in the cups in terms of trophies, and yet France has like the best academies in the world.
Absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
The funny part is that when foreign players come to France and think, "Oh, it's going to be easy for me," because like the hype of where they're coming from, then they realize, "Oh shit, the French league is no joke in terms of like physicality." Like it's fucking hard, and the second league.
No, you're right. You're right. They're great games. They're competitive games because they're all playing for contracts, for big contracts. You're right, and well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them are very young, fresh players who are super hungry, right? So you're absolutely right. So to watch it, it's good football, right? It's super competitive. Maybe there's a little skill missing here and there because they're not developed, but you're right. There is an appeal to the league.
On an average, you could say that in the Premier League or in the Liga, the top 3-4 games are of a higher level than the higher level games in the French football. But beyond these 3-4 games, then most French games of same league, of equal league, is of a higher intensity, higher most things. Like the loss of the French league is usually much better than the loss of the Liga or the Premier League. Top, yeah, of course, because of the money and other factors, culture. Like we know, like Americans, they don't know much about football, but Italy is known for tactics. Like they have coaches that are very tactical, which is not necessarily the culture of French, British, and German football. Then Spanish football is about motion and possession, like so to have the players who are the quickest. French football is more about like having a cohesive, like everyone is as good, not really have a star that is shining more than the others. In the UK, it's a bit different. But anyways,
physical. Are we gonna trash VC shows before I let you go? No, let me put it this way. And you and I had a quick exchange about this a couple of weeks back, I remember. But let me put it this way. Like, I think that like there's not that many shows anymore, not that many kind of streams that are happening, right? In the online kind of final
really?
It seems like it's all kind of died off a little bit. It's gotten pretty quiet. That's what I'm saying. But you go and tell me.
I don't know. I like. Is Rachel not doing it anymore? Is Rob not doing it anymore?
Yeah, but it's the same old people, though, right?
Okay, in that terms. Okay, I don't know. I trust you on that. I think so. I can have a better answer if we talk about the French VC. The French VC was kind of like the US VC, in my opinion, and when me and Romuald and a bunch of others started to to invest or occupy that territory. And so here's what I think about the VC. I think that originally, like, VC is like YouTube, and it's geeks, music geeks.
Yeah.
There are music geeks that are nerds and that are kind of like a little bit not the most social people because of either social anxiety or different particularities or whatever. And I think
I don't look at you that way, by the way. Stunty, I don't look at you that way.
No, I think like there's when you're like that, there's often a strong need to belong.
Sure.
So when you develop a sort of tight community of people who need to belong, like, you tend to put barriers, and at the same time, everyone has to be friends. Everyone has to be friendly, even if we fake it to death. Like, there's this sort of make-believe Care Bear mentality, like, so, which means that it reduces the scope of what we are allowed or what we want to talk about. Because, we all agree that the Led Zeppelin is great, that the Beatles is great, and blah, blah, blah. Let's decide to only talk about the stuff that we all agree on. Kind of. Sort of. So
what's up? So in that scenario, and I think you're onto something. In that scenario, give me an example of something that's kind of off limits or would kind of break that contract, let's say.
Well, to talk about music and record collecting from a philosophical perspective, because suddenly not everyone can do that. Not everyone wants to do that, but also not everyone can do that, which is fine. But it's also...
Yeah, I'll be there in a bit.
Is the internet working okay for you?
Yeah, it seems to me.
Okay. Non, bah ça va, je suis de l'autre côté, je sais pas.
Huh? Sorry, Santi, keep on going.
Yeah. So I think so there's a French guy in the French VC called Monsieur Vinyl, who wants to become a sort of...
That's original.
Yeah, he's sort of the French Mazzy of the VC. Not the same exact, like, everyone's different, but like there's some similarities. Mazzy is nicer, but the thing is that, like, when the French Vinyl Addicts wanted us to do a weekly live stream, like, community that, like, everyone can come on and every topic that is musical is fair game. I knew we would going to be a sort of existential danger for this guy, and it didn't take long for him to block us everywhere because he didn't like contradiction at all, because it kind of showed his limits. And I think that the way the VC traditionally is very unappealing to a lot of music heads who were also nerds, but who had more time to themselves in the beginning of YouTube to do other stuff. They were more social, so they had a life elsewhere. So YouTube was not a priority since the pandemic and also things changing.
That's not Mazzy, is it?
Yeah, no, it is Mazzy, and so I think that by opening up the discussion to a philosophical nature, and not make a hierarchy between the stuff that is obvious, that everyone likes, and stuff that is more esoteric, that invites a whole different kind of audience potentially, which makes the VC grow, but also makes the traditional VC a little insecure because suddenly they're not the top dogs there. So they feel protective of it, which creates all this sort of drama and stuff like that, I think. That's been my observation.
Okay, Mazzy, come on. Mazzy is going to come up now and give an official response to Stunty's analysis.
But what do you think, Greg? of my take on this.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm. Look, I've been studying. You know this, right? Most people know. A good chunk of people who are here know I'm a professor, right? I've been studying online communities. I've written books about online communities, online politics. Yeah. No, I've been researching the internet and communities on the internet since I was a graduate student 25 years ago. And what's surprisingly consistent are the kind of dynamics that you're talking about, right? The ways in which people seek out community, but yet online, yet need to place constraints on the nature of that community. There's a lot written about that. A lot of people have studied about that. A lot of people talked about the limits of the kind of social sphere when you're in virtual spaces, when you never see people face to face. Yet at the same time, and a lot of people have talked about this, including Mazzy and others, right? Have talked about one of the nice things about the vinyl community, and I've seen this, right? And I've experienced this. I met you, and Den Bosch is actually meeting people face to face. So that kind of fakeness, there is a way of breaking through that kind of fakeness, right? That comes with just this. Yet at the same time, the dynamics, which then I think set up or can frame friendships or potential friendships after, still emerge out of the dynamics that you're talking about, right? So I think that's, so I don't think you can neglect the kind of dynamics, the kind of strange, limited sociality that happens on online spaces, right? Yet at the same time, a lot of people are, and I've said this to you, I've said this to a lot of people, including everyone in my film, is that I'm always surprised, yet not, at the level of investment people have in their online world, right? But that's not all that interesting to me. What's interesting is what's the nature of the practices that they enact, right, in the online world, right? Like you look at your show and you have a set of practices and you talk about what it means to you and all these kinds of things. That's what I mean by online practices, right? And I find that to be much more interesting, how people position themselves, how they feel like what it is that they want to contribute to other conversations, to streams, to people's channels, to their own channel. I think having a more open discussion or even a debate about that it would be really interesting, right? And some of those debates come out when people start to say, "Oh, you're a shill. You do this for ego reasons and that." And sure, there's a place for that. I think that's helpful to talk about commercial imperatives and the good and the bad sides of that. But there's much more to it than just that, right? There's talking about some of my friends just died, or I moved to, in my case, I moved to France, and so I'm kind of displaced from a lot of people I know, and all those kinds of things are interesting in the context. I think they're interesting in the context of what everyone talks about, which is their love of music, their love of collecting, their love of going to record fairs and finding new record shops and digging. I find that's a much more interesting
the thing is that, like,
conversation, right?
These kind of communities where there are bridges between these communities, which means they're part of a larger community potentially, like the ego thing. Like, there are people who are genuine about their niceness, their nastiness, and people who, for various reasons, are kind of not as genuine, going in one direction or the other for whatever purpose there is. And I think that most people can see through that to a certain extent.
I agree. Yeah.
And
it's hard to uphold that kind of facade for sustainability.
There's this guy, Monsieur Vinyl, the not so nice French Mazzy in terms of hierarchy in the French vinyl community. I'm not talking about the personality. I'm talking about the position, the power position in the hierarchy in a way. My perception of it, at least.
I'm like the not so nice, breakfast king of Loyola. That's how I see myself.
I think you're selling.
I'm like this snarky. I'm like this snarky Spurs supporting breakfast king of Loyola.
Breakfast King of Loyola was one time on the stream with his face. I only seen him once, and it took me a while to realize it was him.
He's been on a few of my streams. I've met Paul down in Detroit. Yeah, that's a great record.
Oh yeah. I remember now hearing about it. But so that Monsieur Vinyl, he did like everything he does. There's sort of like a Hollywood trailer for everything. Obviously, that's how people can go all above, like, you know what I mean? Like when you have like an intro that is like 1 minute, like that's something I was telling my friend the other day. He was telling me that like, oh, but he has a nice intro. Yeah, but
when he starts his stream, you mean, or
where there's like a sort of animation and stuff happening and all. And I'm telling him, but dude, what does that mean? What's the function of that intro? And he's like, well, it's like blah, blah, basically no answer. And I tell him, like, this is just people to make themselves, it's the frog, La Fontaine, the frog and the bull, like trying to look bigger. So I want to look professional. That's how they do on TV. So I'm going to have it. Apart from the fact that on TV, it has an actual function. It tells you who's doing the show, who's like, it gives you in the opening credits. But like VC channels who have like opening credits, it's just silly to the max.
But I think some people learn, right? They're experimenting. They're learning how to make media.
That's
part of it. Maybe not in the case of what you're talking, but
that's the nice version. That's the nice version. In reality, maybe you can say that they're using that as an excuse to expand their skills. But in reality, for the viewer, this has no function.
It looks god awful.
It looks whatever it looks like, but it literally occupies no function. So it is an ego.
I like Chances. What's the name of his stream? His Concert Buddy stream they do on Thursday. I like his because it's kind of there's like 5 different motifs, right? Like he starts with one thing, and then it moves to like a scene in a record shop, and then after that there's another scene. You know what I mean? So it just kind of feels like it just kind of gets longer and longer and longer. I mean, it's well done. I'm just saying.
When you go on TV,
it's not a critique, but
but when you go on TV, like TV operates that way, that like you just go through channels and you don't necessarily know what you're gonna look at. When you go on YouTube, before you click on play, you already have most of the info you need to, especially if you're looking at a VC content, like how much you need to know about the channel, which usually
how much do you want to know?
Yeah, but again, these opening credits are empty of any actual meaning, I think. But besides that,
hold the salad sauce. We got Sava here.
Yeah.
The best VC intro is Jason's AI instrumental.
Savvy Sava, huh?
Savvy Sava. He's a savvy young man, isn't he? Which one's he talking about? AI instrumental?
Like the music is an AI tune, I think he means. But so
look, Stenty, you've got your own introduction that you do on Fridays, right? Which is yes you do. You've got the little icon. Some guy with his head on fire, and then you talk, and that's your intro.
I have an intro in a way, or I have an introductory way, but this one is actually giving information. The music itself is one. It could be any tune that I play is part of that.
I know, but you also have visuals as well. You have visuals.
Yeah.
You have to admit it. You have an introduction. Yeah. So it's
But it changes all the time. For example, you know what?
more subtle. It's more subtle. I'll
Right.
give you that. But I'm just saying.
The latest one was very good, even if I had to take the stream off because like of my issues with the computer. Like I changed the avatar almost every week, not every week, but like interesting information. Often people comment a little bit on that. The latest one was the Greenland flag, and no one commented, which is in itself for me an information, which means that my audience doesn't know what the Greenland flag is looking like.
When was that? Last week? I usually don't. I don't watch your stream. Sorry.
Anyways, but like this Monsieur Vinyl, he went through some of the typical tropes of the VC. So he does his best of the year records, but he also does another video, the flops of the years. And it's so performative. It's records that he doesn't really care for. But because other people have loved these records, like, for instance, the Deftones album.
Yeah.
So he knows that he's going to create like stupid reactions, like people who get offended. But the thing is that everything he has to say against it is performative. He says like, well, that record is not them. It's something different. Who you to say?
Maybe this is Monsieur Vinyl. Do you want to take this one on?
Let me finish about that.
Okay.
Going to Billy Spin and his like antics. And then he says the mixing was really bad without giving any substance. Like just, it's basically a way to stand out. It's a way, you know, that you have a controversial take, but it's not even really a take. You're just going to piss off people without going into substance. And then he defends himself by saying, well, constructive criticism is always healthy. Except the fact that he doesn't know what constructive is, since he did nothing of that. And so there's this whole make-believe of like, here's a virtuous way of approaching this, and he doesn't have the intellectual or structural means to provide that. He knows, he senses that the VC is changing, that he needs to show himself as a little more than just someone who caters to the basic needs of everyone, but he's not the right person. So basically, like, he will say, I would never say that any record, I would never talk about a record in terms of this is shit. And 5 minutes later, he says that Santana album is pourri, so rotten, and completely like, so he contradicts himself within the span of 5 minutes, which creates a cognitive dissonance, which is basically he pretends to be someone that he isn't, and everyone can see that, but he's on top. So it takes a little while before we get to
Okay, Stunty, take this on.
So this is William, by the way, William, just so you know.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, did he put this into whatever, Google Translate or something?
Doing that for a year and a half or two now. This well, it's
because there's no accents or anything in here. It's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah, but like everything there is 100% false. So that's like there's nothing true about it. But like he like whatever. This is William.
I gotta go soon. It's almost dinner time. I know you don't eat. Have you started eating again, or?
Well, of course I eat. What are you talking about?
You didn't eat when I saw you for 2 days. I didn't see you eat once.
We were buying records. Why there was no time for that? Like, you guys go to the biggest record fair in the world. We have like 7 hours, and you take a lunch break. Like, you guys are crazy.
In the hall. in the hall. We took 20 minutes for lunch, and I
Crazy.
got grief from you, and I continue to get grief from you. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a great time. I really hope that you hit like and subscribe. It's been a great talk with Stunty.
Nice to talk with you, and nice to see the 6 different accounts of William talking with us. Only 3.
All right. Well, good luck with your computer, huh? I hope you can get it fixed soon.
There's a plan. So,
is there a plan in the works? And yeah, I'll be in touch. Okay.
Look at that.
All right. Talk soon. Thanks for coming up, huh? There we go. There it is. That's the future of your Friday night, everyone, in a box. I'll talk to you later, okay? Take care.
Bye-bye.